Hi everyone, I'm Miss Kimberly Ann. Before we start today, I want you to think about the last thing you searched for online. Maybe it was on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Google, wherever. What did you type? Now raise your hand if you have ever clicked on a hashtag and somehow ended up 45 minutes later watching raccoons stealing cat food, or dramatic cake decorating videos, or people arguing about which fictional villain was secretly right. Exactly. That happens because search systems follow the words and labels we give them. So, today we're going to talk about how the words you choose can completely change what you find. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to choose better keywords, use the word and make your searches way less frustrating. Quick question. If I search for just the word cats, what kinds of things might come up? Probably everything, right? Cute cat videos, different cat breeds, cat food, cat memes, cat health, maybe somebody arguing that orange cats all share the same one brain cell. But what if I search orange cats and behavior? Would I get more results or fewer? Fewer, but probably better ones. That is the whole idea behind searching in a database. Search systems are not neutral. They only know what we tell them. The words you type decide what you see and what stays hidden. Now, let me introduce you to one very important word: metadata. Has anyone ever heard of metadata? It sounds complicated, but really, metadata is just information that describes information. Can anyone think of an example of metadata? Yes, a hashtag is metadata. A movie title, that's also metadata. A book genre, like horror, fantasy, or romance, those are all metadata. A year, an author, a filter, subject heading in a database, those are also metadata. Basically, metadata is the label that tells a search system what something is about. Everything is metadata. Let's try an example. Imagine I search book talk, hashtag book talk. What kinds of books do you think I would see? Probably all kinds: romance, mystery, fantasy books, maybe people crying over a book ending because it was just so good they didn't want it to end. Now, what if I change one word and I search hashtag fantasy book talk? What do you think will happen? The results become much more specific. Instead of every kind of book, I get dragons, magical worlds, fantasy series, enemies to lovers stories, and people defending villains who are obviously waving red flags. So, one extra word changed everything we see on the search results. The same concept applies to how we create and generate information, even when it comes to AI. Another example, we could search Taylor Swift. What might come up? Songs, albums, random news, concert clips, you name it. But what if we search Taylor Swift Eras Tour? What changes? Now I'm much more likely to get concert videos, ticket information, costumes, or reviews. The search system didn't magically know what I wanted. It followed the words I gave it. Social media uses hashtags, but if you want to find information about the new Superman movie, what hashtags would you use? Things like Superman, hashtag Superman 2025, hashtag DC Studios. Those are examples of informal metadata. All kinds of people use hashtags and create them. But if you were in a library database, the search would look a bit different. So instead of hashtags, you would use more formal language like Superman, fictitious character, or comic book films. Why do you think databases use more formal words? It's because databases want everyone to use language that is kind of the same, so it's easier to find information. See, hashtags are flexible, but when we are searching in a database, we're not just using hashtags, we are using subject headings that are standardized. So, both of these things help you find information, but they work a little bit differently. And there's a reason why we use databases instead of just Google. Raise your hand if you have ever Googled something for a school assignment. Hands up, of course. Google is great for quick answers. If I want to know how old George Washington was when he became president, Google is perfect. But what if I needed really good resources for a research paper I'm working on? What kinds of things show up on Google that are not always useful? Ads, random websites, people's opinions, things that are not always accurate. And this is where databases are different. Databases like JSTOR, Academic Search Complete, or ProQuest contain articles written by scholars, researchers, and field experts. Most of those sources have been reviewed before they were published to said databases. And databases let you search much more carefully. For example, imagine your topic is social media and mental health. That's your topic that you're supposed to research and write this huge essay on social media and mental health. If I just type social media mental health or just social media into the search bar, yep, we get thousands of results. Some of these might be helpful, but many of this is way too broad. So if I search more specifically, if I search social media and mental health, let's see what happens. The database only shows results that include both ideas, which significantly narrows down what we find. We could go a little bit further because, what if the topic, the real topic, is teenagers and anxiety? Now we can make this even more specific. So we have, let's see, teenagers and social media and anxiety. Would this give fewer results or more? Fewer, but they are better. They are narrowed down, giving us exactly what we need because now we're getting into the overlap. The overlap is usually where your best resources are. You may have heard the word Boolean before. Boolean is named after George Boole. A Boolean phrase was created out of a system of logic using words like and, or, and not. to sort out information. Today, databases still use this idea, and just simply means both words must appear together. After you search, there's one more thing you can do. You can use filters. And I am not talking about the Snapchat dog filters. No, these ones work a little bit differently. So, database filters help you further narrow down the information you're looking for. There's a filter we can use called peer review, and it gives you scholarly sources. Narrowing down the time frame here to last 5 years gives you newer information. And full text, this means you can actually read the article right away. So filters help you clean up your search so you spend less time scrolling through things you don't need. Before we finish, though, I want you to think about your own topic. Write down 2 keywords you could use for your own search topic and use the word and. Then think of one more word that could make your search a little bit more specific. If you get stuck and need help with, different keyword ideas or synonyms, I highly recommend thesaurus.com because this will help you find better keywords or words that are related to your search. So always remember, search systems are not neutral. The words you choose decide what you will find and what stays hidden. So next time you're searching, whether it's for homework, TikTok, or about raccoons stealing cat food, think very carefully about the words that you use.